Finally, we have the tool to create great Martingale EIs without coding or programming skills, and you might be surprised, but it's not AI. The newest feature in EI Studio allows us to download the experts with the grid option. And over the last few months, I've been obsessed with building EIs with the grid system to achieve my goal of creating strategies with steady growth with low drawdowns. And I already have a few of them trading live on BlackBull with excellent results, so stick around and you will learn how to do that yourself, completely free. So here is my live account with BlackBull Markets, and you can see that I'm trading this EI Studio New Zealand Swiss H1 robot. So it was originally created for New Zealand Swiss, but I'm trading it on CAD Swiss, which is another proof that this is a robust strategy because it works on multiple pairs. There are 2 open trades, and if I show you the account history, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 profitable trades and 0 losing trades, because that's the idea when trading with grid systems, that we will not have a losing trade. And this is a $1,000 live account and I have $50 as a profit, so this is 5% in less than a month. You can see that I started trading this account on the 28th of April and the last trade was closed on the 19th of May. So 5% in less than 1 month from my own EA that I built myself. It's just unbelievable. So here you can see on the chart the last grid sequence. I will show it to you right in here. There was a short trade, another short trade, and then there was another short trade. All of those closed here are the profit, and you can see that I am adding the same lot, which means I'm not using a Martingale system. So how did I create this expert advisor? When you log into the Algo Trading Space platform and you create a free profile, you will have access to plenty of tools, but one of the free ones is the strategy dashboard. This is where we monthly recalculate hundreds and thousands of strategies generated with EI Studio, the strategy builder we are using. And because we are generating strategies on one machine all the time, like 24/7, it's hundreds and even thousands of strategies, probably millions of strategies since we started using it. We want to make sure that every month we have the best ones. So we have made it on the back end, a process where automatically every month we see the best expert advisors in the strategy dashboard. So that's for free. You can come here and you can pick any of these strategies. There are plenty of tools. I'm not going into details, but there are filters. So let's say you want to trade just Aussie New Zealand strategies or Euro Pound, Euro Yen strategies. You can see the best ones over here. You can arrange them according to different criteria. However, I found this expert advisor that I'll show you today, and I added the grid Martingale option to it. So I'll go back to EI Studio, and here is the expert advisor that I found on the strategy dashboard. It is trading CAD Swiss on 1 hour time frame. What is interesting about this expert advisor is that it has a very small take profit of 16 pips and a huge stop loss of 166 pips. Probably suitable ratio if you're using grid Martingale systems. Then I have 4 entry indicators: stochastic signal, Williams percent range, bearish power, and stochastic again, and 1 exit condition, the pin bar. Now this is the balance chart without the grid. The expert advisor in EI Studio backtests without the grid. If I want to add the grid, I need to export it as expert advisor plus for MetaTrader 5, which will add the grid into the expert. And I will drop this expert advisor now in my backtesting platform, which is dedicated just to backtesting purposes, and I will click on experts and I will paste the new one over here. I will double click on it and I will compile it. Now this expert advisor, once I refresh the experts tab, the expert advisor will pop up on the top, and now I can backtest it. So how am I backtesting? In order to find the most suitable grid or martingale values. By default, we have the stop loss, the take profit, everything that we had in EI Studio, and the grid is disabled by default. You can see this is the grid option, and by default it is false. If I want to use it, I need to switch to true, and here I can decide what will be the grid distance. For example, I can go for 50 pips, which means that once the expert advisor buys, but the price goes in the opposite direction, it will add to the position in 50 pips, or if it drops lower, another 50 pips, it will buy again. That's the grid. Then I can decide what will be the grid distance sizing. For example, I can stick to equal distance, so it will keep adding to the position every 50 pips, or I can increase it by a coefficient. For example, I can double the distance every time with every order. And the next important thing is the grid volume sizing. So if I stick to equal volume, it means that it will always trade, or it will always add the initial lot size that I selected. Or if I want to increase it, which is the well-known Martingale approach, then I can increase by incremental volume, scale volume, or Fibonacci, sum of previous two. And I like to use the scale volume. This is where I can double every next trade, or I can triple or even quadruple, and then I can control what is the grid maximum total positions, right? So for example, if it adds one time and a second time, third, fourth, and we say okay, 5 times maximum, then you should limit it from here. And then we have the grid pair position closing, which is quite interesting. This is when we have already a grid sequence, and if the last trade covers the loss from the first, these two will close, and then we move the whole sequence down, or pretty much the first and the last will eliminate each other, or you can decide not to use that, of course. Then we have a total grid take profit and currency. Once the grid recovers on a profit, you can say okay, let's close this whole sequence in $20 profit, 30, 40, 50, but I would always suggest close it on a profit, not on break even. Otherwise, why we are doing it? So you can say 50 as a grid take profit. And then once you're ready with all of the settings, you go back to the settings and you can decide what will be your period that you will be backtesting it. The modeling, obviously everything based on real ticks is the preferable model, but usually I do it on 1 minute open, high, low, close. Once I find a suitable combination, then I'll just confirm on every ticks. But then you click on start and you will see that the backtest will start shortly afterwards. And here is the result of this experimental setup, because all the values I put is just for the purpose of the video to explain the input, so we might not see a profitable strategy, but however it is a profitable strategy, surprisingly, especially since 2024. However, there is something important here. All of these dips are because of the exit condition that we had from EI Studio, the spin bar. It's an exit condition that will apply no matter if we are into the grid or not. And that's a personal choice whether you will be using an exit condition or not. If you use an exit condition, like you saw the backtest, from time to time there will be dips, still you can build a profitable strategy. If you decide not to use the grid exit condition, then every grid should exit on a profit. And is it possible to build such a strategy? Of course it is. Let me show you. And the account that I showed to you at the beginning without a losing trade actually uses an exit condition. So I expect that at one moment there will be these dips from the backtest because the exit condition will apply. However, I am using different settings and I really don't want to share them with you because yes, that's a live account I'm trading, but it's still 1 month old. Maybe when I have some more track record, I can share the EA, or we can make it as a product on the algo trading space, very affordable. But I want to prove first to myself that it's profitable before I share with others. However, I'm more excited when there are no such dips and we just see a profitable back test. And I already have such an EA, of course, a live account with BlackBull. If you are not sure which broker to use, BlackBull is a suitable broker for algorithmic trading, guys. We have so many accounts with them, thousands of dollars as deposits from our side, from our community and subscribers. They are well regulated and trusted broker. I'll leave a link down below in the description. So if you want to build a grid Martingale system without the exit, what you need to do is go back to EA Studio and close the exit condition. Don't worry about this bad balance chart. This is because there is no grid Martingale here. The other thing I usually remove is also the take profit and the stop loss. And I click on accept and it's getting even worse, but don't worry, that's okay. Now, before I export the expert advisor with the grid version, I need to do one more thing. I need to add an exit rule called do not exit, this one over here, because if you leave it like that, it will close a long position at every opening of the bar. Same thing for the short trade. So you need to add a do not exit indicator. Just click on accept. It's not gonna change anything. Simply it will not exit because of the strategy, and it will depend fully on the grid. Then I can just export the expert advisor for MetaTrader with the grid. Once I click on it, I'll just compile it and it will go to the MetaTrader. I'll load it to the backtester, and now I will load a set file that I created, and I played a lot with the inputs. Like I was trying different grid distances, different lot sizing methods, different take profit for the entire grid, but I don't optimize them. I do it one by one. I change by hand, because if you use the optimizer on MetaTrader, this one over here, you are very likely to over optimize the strategy and find these best inputs for a certain period of time. And if you don't have the experience to do that, just please don't do it. Change the values by hand. Yes, it takes time, but you're staying away from over optimization. Now let me show you the backtest from the set file that I have prepared. I will switch to the graph and you will see the difference now. The graph is just amazing. It's going up and up and up since 2018 until the moment. It is just going up. Okay, I've never seen such a backtest from the EAs I've created myself until this grid version of EA Studio Robots is available. This is really unbelievable backtest. If I show you the details, you will see 24% equity drawdown, great net profit. It makes above 2% a month, and it's been very steady without huge drawdowns. And I'll show you this account on my VPS. It's the last one. It's a brand new account that is trading the CAT Swiss and the Euro CAT. That's another proof of robustness. If the EA is profitable on two pairs, then it means that the strategy is solid. So I have just one close trade from the CAT Swiss, another BlackBull live account over here, and I'm really excited to see how it will go. And like I said, if I see it profitable with low drawdown, steady performance, I'll be more than happy to list it on the Algo Trading Space website, from where you can access it. The thing is, it takes time. Grid Martingale is risky, and when you build and backtest such expert advisors, you have to be careful. Take your time, do not rush. If you don't have experience, don't over optimize it. But the EA Studio feature now allows us to download these experts with the grid. You decide whether you want to use exit condition or not. I made bot for these EAs. Both are profitable until the moment, with no exit condition. Is still very young account, but the other one made about 5% in the first month. Very excited about it. This tool really gives us a lot of possibilities, but you need to spend some time on it. And before you go, check out this video on my side where I share how to build a portfolio of EIs, and if I can add a few of mine into my portfolio, I'll be super happy. As always guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to love it, trade safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.